Hello, everybody, and thank you once again for participating in the campaign. It's been a little while since I've done an update, but to be honest, there's not a whole lot to actually update on. We have the cashmere dyed for our Oxblood Red, so that's ready for spinning. But other than that, we're still waiting, and it's going to be a little while. But our yak wool is in UB, and that's going through the sorting process of separating our platinum gray from the milk chocolate. Separate those colors so we could start cleaning and dehairing the yak wool and starting that process. Something to add here is I decided to do a color based on the dark yak. Last time we were doing the video, I showed some different examples, I guess, of different colors we can pull out with the dark chocolate base. And there was a lot of really positive response to that. I guess just to recap quickly, dark chocolate yak is the most available yak wool color by quite a large margin. I've heard that about 80% of yaks provide the dark fiber. So when we're just getting the milk chocolate and the platinum gray, it leaves a lot of the dark fiber. And so trying to find more ways to use that, it's better to help the herders use their entire herds. So yeah, we pulled out some cool colors. Well, at least there was a red, and then there was like a greenish color, but I've done a lot more experimenting. So the plan here is I'm gonna show both in the video here and then with some lightbox photos, which I think give better representation of colors. It's more accurate. With the video, I do a little bit more artistic color editing, I guess. So maybe not the best representation of colors. So keep that in mind. But yeah, when we started out, I think this was the first one we did, but yeah, we'll go through some of the colors and then I'll put a survey. And I'm curious which one you guys want to make. But the ones that I did first, we got the dark yak here. Hopefully focus is good. And then this is the red that we made. So a little bit darker, definitely. And this is a cashmere, kind of a reference piece as well, so you can tell the difference. So that's the red. I'll go through these a little bit quickly. And then there was, well, it turned into kind of like a teal color, I guess, but like a very dark, I was going for more of a blue, but it turned into a green. So this is it on the white sheep wool. This is it on the dark yak wool. And then this is the reference there. So for the brown yak. So that's a second option. Although this one is quite dark, not my favorite color. So then I started to do quite a bit more testing. Here is a green that I got. And for the green, this was really just 80% yellow and 20% blue. So you can see how it comes out on a white cashmere and then the green yak wool and then the brown for the reference. So a green, which I think turned out quite well. And we have a blue, which I was surprised how true it came out. So here's the reference, here's the dark, and then here is the dark navy, which I think it looks great. It might even be a little bit too plain or a little bit too honest of a blue. It's dark, but it's very nice. Sometimes I guess if we're gonna be dyeing yak wool, maybe you want something even more unique. And then I tried, just for reference, I mean like a yellow or a gold. This is on a white backing, this is the dark brown, and this is the natural color, undyed. So you can see it really didn't do too much, right? As you would expect, a gold on such a dark base. So there's that one. And then I had a couple of purples. So this was a purple that I tried. Sorry for the bad dyeing here, but you get a little bit of the blotchy reference color here, you can see. And then purple, this was the second shot that I took. The first one, it had way too much blue, so it just turned out like black. But it's kind of like a muddy plum color, I guess. Also, not my favorite. I think the three most viable are the red, the blue, and the green. So I think it'll probably be between these ones. And I think they're all great colors. It turned out really well. And it would be pretty easy for me to replicate these, or I wouldn't be doing these hand-dyed at least. So yeah, I think I'm really interested to see how that comes out, and excited to see what kind of feedback I get about those colors. And just for reference too, it's warm in my apartment here. It's about 85 degrees in my apartment, no AC or anything. Luckily in Mongolia, the humidity is usually quite low, but it's been hot the past couple of weeks. And yeah, the heat just kind of sticks in these buildings, not really built for high temperatures. So a little bit warm in here. Oh, yeah, here's the first purple I made. This was way too much blue, so way too dark, and it pretty much just turned black. So the reference purple, like a violet type of a thing, but yeah, just way too dark. So I don't think it's really going to be in consideration. So yeah, excited about that. Please take the survey. Let me know which color you like the most. And also, in related to dyeing and dyeing dark colors, is the last stretch goal we unlocked. All right, so the $155,000 stretch goal was for hand-dyed black. And we're gonna do it in the natural fiber bases that we make. So the vanilla cashmere, milk chocolate yak wool, and the dark brown, red baby camel wool. And I guess also in the stone fleece as well for the sheep wool, for those that are interested. I've done a lot of dyeing. I'm not much of a hand dyer, so I'm kind of saying this as a little bit of like a warning as well, because maybe I didn't think this one out completely at the start. I don't know how much is going to get ordered of the hand-dyed black yarns. If it turns out to be something like 20 or 25 kilograms, which is about what I'm expecting, it'll be doable, but it'll of course be a lot of work, 255 skeins or so. If it gets much more than that, I may try to find somewhere in UB that can just dye the hanks of yarn. It might get a little bit too much for me if it's the amount is much higher than that. I had bought some equipment, so some like very big, like 30-liter stainless steel pots that I could easily do a kilogram at a time. But I found out with some testing that I don't have the right equipment to keep all of that hot and circulating enough to get even dyes on the yarn. A couple of examples, and maybe one of those things, there's no mistakes, just beautiful surprises. But, well, a couple of different mistakes that I made. There was, where did I put my swatches? Ah, yes. So without the proper circulation, and I'm not sure if you could see or not, but there's just some lines in here where it's not perfectly black, where the dye didn't take up properly. And I think this had a lot to do with not being able to keep the water hot enough and stable enough. And so, yeah, ended up not getting great dye absorption throughout the fiber. Not something that I would be confident or even willing to sell or deliver to customers. So not acceptable for me. Some other mistakes that I made along the way is I had the hanks tied a little bit too tight. And so where they were tied too tightly, I didn't get absorption there either. So there's white lines. So I had about 400 grams of cashmere that was like this, but I was curious and decided to make some products. So actually kind of cool, the pattern that it makes, and probably something replicable. But no, you cannot have this. You can have the hat, actually. I might go through and make some hats using this dyeing process, because I actually think it's quite interesting. On black is cool, and I'm curious what it would look like even in red and on the different fiber bases as well too. So I am still very interested in making my own hats here on my knitting machine, and I'm gonna start selling them. Either probably sometime in July, I'll have them posted, definitely ready for backer kit, handmade, made to measure. And so I'll do some more experimenting with dyeing and things like that. So I'll have them available as finished products, but not something that I'm going to be able to offer as the dyed yarn. It would just be too inconsistent and a little bit too hectic for me to try and do that. But that's kind of the process that I took. There was quite a bit of testing, making mistakes, fixing, and then finally at the end, I went down to a smaller pot where I can do batches of about 400 grams consistently. And this is the sheep wool, and it's black. It's 100% sheep wool. It's not a blend, but it's black through and through. It's definitely something that I would be comfortable. Oh, I got stuck in my knitting machine here. Definitely something that I'm comfortable sending to customers. I'm very happy with this and how it turned out. I have lightbox photos of what the final skein will look like, wrapped up and labeled. And my swatch bag here. This is a swatch of that. It's actually two. I did some fingering weight as well. So this is two fingering held together, but yeah, it's black. A black that I'm happy with. But I just want to say, I'll get through this part and we'll see what the final orders are as far as the final quantity. So I'm still planning to do it hand dyed, but there's a chance that might change it to machine dyeing as well, depending on the quantity. If it's too much and it's a lot to do in my apartment, and it doesn't seem that I'm getting the consistent quality results that I'm happy with, I'm going to have to find a different solution for it. So yeah, that about gets us up to speed about the dyeing and the hand dyed black, which I was very worried about a week ago. Now I'm feeling a bit more confident. But yeah, we'll see where that goes, and excited to show that process and keep updating everybody with it. But okay, the video is starting to get a little bit on the long side. I was going to tell a little bit more of a story about the last countryside trip that I went on with the yak herders there, but maybe for the next video when I don't have quite as much to share. There's still a good story there that I'd like to tell, but I think we already have enough for this update. The video is one part, and then having it all typed out below. It would get quite a bit long, I think, if I did a third piece here. So yeah, a couple of weeks left on the campaign. Let's see where things end up, and please help me out with the survey. Let me know what yak wool color you'd like to see dyed. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave me a message down below. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the end of the campaign. Thank you.